Hello, static students. My name is Marty DuBois, and today let's talk about forces. In statics, we are going to study what forces are and how to calculate them. So to begin, let's talk about what exactly they are. And we have three questions. What are forces? How are they related to gravity, mass, acceleration, and what are the units? In this video, we'll talk about the first question. Proceeding. People didn't really know about forces until Newton started to study motion. And he came up with his three laws. You can stop the video and read Newton's laws in particular. But what a force really is something that makes things move. In particular, they make things speed up or slow down. That's called acceleration. And Newton said when there's a force applied to something, it changes its speed. It might be sitting still and it starts to move, or it's already moving, or here's one that you don't think about, it changes direction. That's also considered changing speed. Okay, Newton's second law, the bigger the force, the more it moves. And the third law says forces have magnitude and direction, which means a force isn't just a number, but it's what's called a vector. So this is Newton's famous law. The sum of the forces equals the mass times the acceleration. That little sideways m is the Greek letter sigma, and that's the engineering term for the sum of. It's much easier to write that sigma than it is to draw the sum of every time. M is the mass of whatever we're pushing on or force is applied to, and A is the acceleration that results from the force. This is our first formula. Now what's important here is that we are talking about statics. So in statics, there is no acceleration. The objects are static. Does that mean there are no forces? Not at all. What that means is that the sum of the forces, there are usually more than one force applied to an object, and those objects have to add up to give an acceleration of 0, and that only happens when all the forces are balanced out. So let's recap. A force is something that makes an object or a mass move. But in statics, we're studying forces that are balanced, so the object is not moving. And we can use the fact that we know the forces are balanced to calculate unknown forces. That's the essential thing that we need to know to solve for unknown forces. Here's an example. I've got a roller. It's sitting on the floor. Okay. Here we go. There's weight that's pushing down on the floor. Weight is a special kind of force that we'll talk about in the next video. And the floor is pushing back on the roller. At the same time, if I push the roller and it moves with a constant speed, there's force required to push the roller, but then there's also rolling resistance. So if I know how hard I am pushing at a constant speed, I can determine what the rolling resistance is. Similar, if I put the roller on a scale I can see exactly how much force the floor has to support. This is an example of how we calculate forces. Okay, next time we'll talk about how this relates to gravity. Very good. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.